What's going on in YouTube? Hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. It is post-patch custom tactics and instructions time. The patch has been out now for 3 days, and we're going to go ahead and tell you exactly what tactics and formations I think are going to suit you and what the meta is kind of looking like. I'm going to start off by talking about the patch and kind of what's changed. One thing that I will say is that the driven passes are still viable, but it certainly does get intercepted more. So you do need to be a little bit more particular about when you do the driven passes. The speed is the same, the touch is the same. You just need to make sure that when you're going for a driven pass to your striker, to your winger, whoever it may be, that the lane is open. Before, you used to be able to kind of force your way in, let's say. We can't do that anymore, all right? So just be a little bit more precise. You can go for some more X passes in that final third, move the ball around a little bit there, then look for that one killer driven. Because of that change, the game feels a little bit slower, feels a little bit more like FIFA 20 in the sense that the build-up is kind of there. I will invite you if you have a counter-attack available for that over-the-top through ball, that through ball down the line, using player locks, we want to go for that. That will then mean that you're not coming up against drop back 10 men behind the ball as much because you're hitting on the counter. So you want to kind of vary your play styles depending on what is available. Goalkeepers are also better now as well. They are certainly a bit harder to score against, but the finesse shots on the edge of the box, screen time, still unbelievably strong, and the power shots across goal. 2 to 3 bars of power is your go-to scoring techniques for you, right? Let's go ahead and jump into it. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, right? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Get involved. I'm always happy to read your comments down below. So we're going to start off. We use game plans for this. This is where we start in the 4-1-2-1-2 formation, but we use game plans to change to whatever formation that we want. Like here, the 4-2-3-1, for example. Doesn't affect chemistry. Keeps the chemistry to whatever you start the formation and start the game in, and that's perfect. So I use the D-pad to go to ultra defensive, left for the 4-2-3-1. Now, the 4-2-3-1 is coming back into my locker more, let's say. Been using a lot of the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow recently, a lot of the 4-4-2, but we are looking at the 4-2-3-1 as something that I think people will start to use a little bit more again because of that FIFA 20 type of feel, that get numbers behind the ball, that slow build-up, that will kind of become a little bit more prominent in my opinion. Now, I keep this very neutral. The reason for this, with balanced 50 width, 45 depth, balanced possession, 55 width, 3 players in box and 3 corners. The reason why I keep this very neutral is this is my tactic and formation to see out the game, to be a little bit more defensive, to just play football, be slow in the build-up, have the ability to go long if I want, but really a neutral, balanced type of play style. The possession means that players come short. For a lot of you guys, I don't always recommend this because you need to use a lot of the L1, you need to use player locks, you need to be creative in your build-up. If you want to use forward runs or direct passing, you can do. Just remember that when you do this, you are looking to hit on the counter and the opponent's team will get back and sit deeper quicker because of obviously the way that AI dropped back on this year's game, which still hasn't been fixed, even though EA said that the 70 depth and plus would fix it. It hasn't, in my opinion. So that's what I run on the tactics for the formation, for the instructions. Get in behind, stay forward on Benzema. I have completely balanced on my centre attacking mids and right attacking mid, left attacking mid, apart from getting to the box across for my wingers. That's because if I'm on the right hand side of the pitch, I want my left attacking mid making that run to the back stick and being available, getting inside the box, more numbers inside the box work well. Now, I do have both of my centre defensive mids on stay back while attacking, cover centre, cut passing lanes. That is mainly because I use Petit and Fofana. If you are using someone that is a little bit more attacking minded, then I would invite you to have one of them on balance. But I also do this for another reason. I actually have my fullbacks on completely balanced. I haven't got them on overlap this time. I'm trying them just on neutral. But I really like to use the fullbacks here in this 4-2-3-1. They do offer a lot of width on the wide, on the inside. They just offer something for me to use. So that's why I have them on stay back. If you're going to run your fullbacks on stay back because you're worried about the counter attack, because you will get caught on the counter using this balanced fullbacks, then that's why we go for the stay back while attacking. But if you are going to use the stay back while attacking on the fullbacks, you can put one of them on balance, the more attacking-minded centre defensive mid. Now, the next one is the 4-4-2. The 4-4-2 still makes it into my rotation. Pressure on heavy touch, width 45, 60 depth, long ball, forward runs. This is more of a formation where if I'm feeling like I'm better than the opponent, and I think I can score goals quite comfortably, and I want to be aggressive, I want to get in the opponent's face without leaving too much behind, too much room in for the over-the-top through balls for the opponents trying to hit on the counter. This is a very more attacking but neutral setup for me, and that's what I run directly on there. Works really well for me. With a 4-4-2, we want to make sure we're working it up and down the pitch, looking to get the left mid and the right mid involved, send them in behind, and have some great success with that. Now, when it comes to the the instructions on this, I'll walk through you this. I did used to have come back on defense on these. I've actually left the left mid and right mid to balance, and it's mainly because of who I'm using with Draxler and Coutinho. These are more, centre attacking mid-minded players, I suppose. If you had traditional wingers here, like a Sterling, you might want to put them on getting behind, but that's only because I'm using Draxler and Coutinho here in this. I do have Petit on stay back while attacking, cover centre, and then cover centre on the Fofana. I do have the fullbacks on stay back while attacking here because the right mid and left mid obviously do get involved quite a lot, and because it's aggressive, I just don't want that extra aggression from my fullbacks. And then for the strikers, we have them on completely balanced. You can run one of these and get in behind if you wish. I'm using a lot of L1 runs at the minute and player lock, so I'm trusting myself on there. And I'm actually wanting the kind of the best of both worlds from Fekir and Benzema to use their own brain and attack how they want to. Now, I do use the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow as my starting formation. So I actually use my balanced instruction as a tactic. So I actually have kind of 5 tactics, if that makes sense. And I'm running balanced, 44 width, 76 depth, balanced, forward runs, 35 width, and 5 players in box. This is what you saw in the tactics video that we last uploaded with regards to the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow from Michael Fisher, which has worked really well. Inception did a video on it recently as well. Remember, the key thing is your centre attacking mid needs to be unbalanced. When you have the ball, it will attack in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. When you don't have the ball and you're defending, it defends in a 4-4-2, and it works so incredibly well. Stay back while attacking, cover centre for the centre defensive mid and cut passing lanes, and then balanced and cover. So this was actually something that I want to go over for you. We've had a discussion in the comment section with one of our watchers about cover wing and cover centre. Personal preference for you on what you want to do. I personally prefer cover centre on these two. I have my fullbacks on balanced, right? And they get forward with the overlap. That means that that's where the width comes from. A lot of people think you should have cover wing, and you can have cover wing on these centre mids. What happens then, though, is that Petit will cover for Hernandez when Hernandez pushes up the pitch. For me, I'm actually more happy to give up the wing and protect the middle. I want Petit and Draxler in the middle, so I leave them on cover centre. Then, when they get to the wing, my centre-back may come over, but I just don't let them get to the byline. I'm actually happy to give up the wing. I just don't want them to get into the middle, to get on the edge of the 18-yard box. Personal preference to you and what you think is easier to defend. If you prefer defending the middle, protect the middle. If you prefer defending the wing, give up the middle, protect the wing. Whatever you think is your weakness, you can put your men across on there. Now, I've introduced the 4-3-2-1 back into my locker. Because the game at the minute, I think, is very much... Now I'm going to be slower. I do want a formation that will hit on the counter-attack and sit deep, really. So if I don't have the ball, yes, I'm running 70 depth, but that's because I've got the press on possession loss here in the 4-3-2-1. I want to win the ball originally when I lose it in the opponent's final third. If I don't, and I get my men back behind the ball, and I've got, my men sat deep with my centre mids and my defenders, I then want to hit on the counter. It's a very counter-attacking formation what I'm using here. Press on possession loss, 47 width, 70 depth. Long ball, forward runs, 25 width, and then 5 players in box. Corners and free kicks, I've got 4. I'm testing out different ones because of the change to the patch with the corner glitch being patched. So this is where you're going to see something interesting. Stay forward, stay forward, stay forward, stay central, getting behind on all 3 forwards. Like I said, I want these people to sit deep. So my centre defensive mid, stay while attacking, cover centre, left centre mid, and the right centre mid, completely unbalanced, but cover wing here. The right back and the left back are going to be unbalanced and overlap. Like I said, when I have the ball, counter-attack and go. When I don't have the ball, get your men back, play the patient game, and sit deep. Then hit on the counter. It is very strong at doing this. The 4-3-2-1 was one of my favourite formations at the start of this year, and I'm really glad I've kind of brought it back in, especially with the changes recently to the patch. I think that counter-attacking style is good. Now, I don't really use this, to be honest. The 4-1-2-1-2 narrow for my constant pressure. This is when I'm getting slaughtered in a game. You know, I'm losing 3-0, and I just need to try and find a way back into it. I have been using this a little bit, but to be honest, it's the same setup as the normal 4-1-2-1-2. Other than that, we have the constant pressure, changes to the width and the depth, and the fast build and forward runs, but the instructions are the exact same. I normally prefer a 3 at the back here to do this. I'm just trying different things in that area. That is my setup at the minute. Honourable mentions to kind of other formations. The 4-2-2 is still very effective. Should you wish to use that, that is very strong. You can use the 4-3-1-2 instead of the 4-1-2-1-2. The 4-3-3s, I still like the false 9. Just don't really think it's quote-unquote meta, not as popular. And the 5 at the backs are strong, but if I make a video on that, people will call me a rat and that I've ruined the game. So I'm not going to do that. But those are the ones that I am using. You let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know how they treat you. Any changes you make, pop them in the comment section and get involved. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.